The holidays don't just test your patience, Queen. They test your peace. And if you're not intentional, you'll end up performing for connection instead of protecting your spirit. Hi, I'm Kayali Cole, and this is where women come home to themselves, where we lead from peace, not performance, where we practice power without panic, where softness is strategy, not a setback. Before we begin, babe, stay with me until the end. Your exclusive Queen's closing gift is waiting there, and it's been created to meet you where you are, okay? And I see a lot of you queens watching but not subscribed yet. Go ahead and hit that button. You give your time, I give you my best. That's our promise. All right, let me see. Did you subscribe yet? All right, thank you, Queen. Let's walk into this together, because too many women carry the holidays not with joy, but with guilt, with exhaustion, with the pressure to perform peace instead of embodying it. For so many of us, this season isn't peaceful. It's pressure-filled, it's emotionally loud, it's laced with over-functioning, guilt-wrapped with obligations, and tiptoeing through everyone else's moods and behavior. But hear me, Queen. Peace is not a reward you earn after making everyone else comfortable. It's not. Peace is a spiritual assignment. Peace is a leadership practice, and protecting it is not selfish. It is sacred. You don't need to say yes to every invite. You don't need to stay in rooms that exhaust you. You don't need to explain why your wholeness matters more than their expectations. We're done doing that. And let's make one thing clear, right? One thing clear. You don't need to apologize for protecting your energy like it's your job, because, love, it is. Let's get honest. The holidays have a way of waking up every part of you that's still healing, that's still growing. You're sitting at a table that looks joyful on the outside, but on the inside, you're managing 100 unspoken dynamics. You're at home wrapping gifts. You have your music turned on. You have your setting staged and looking all Christmassy. But you're spiraling on the inside. You're spinning, anxiety pretending to be celebration. You're answering questions from relatives who don't even really see you. Smiling through microaggressions, outdated expectations, and backhanded. So what are you gonna, or when are you gonna, or what is comments? You ever pour yourself a glass of wine and somebody looks at you and say, "Oh, you're having a rough day, aren't you?" No, Aunt. I just want to sip in peace. And suddenly you're defending your glass like it's a press conference. A meeting you didn't invite anyone to. This is what we're naming today. Those hidden emotional weight, the roles you didn't ask for, the ways you've been asked to contort so that everyone else can feel comfortable. Because, Queen, you're not just managing a dinner. You're managing dynamics. You're managing emotions and moods. You're managing the younger version of yourself who used to sit at those tables trying to just be nice, not make too much noise, make everyone else comfortable. And no wonder you feel exhausted before the party even starts. But let me ask you this. Have you ever been there where you're tired of being everyone else's emotional sponge, picking up everyone else's chaos and drama? That's not you giving them grace. That is burnout and you pretending to be okay. You don't owe your energy to people who only remember you when they need something. You don't. You ever notice how some folks go ghost? They go Casper the Ghost all year long. And they pop up in December like you're their therapist, life coach, babysitter, and spiritual advisor, all wrapped up in one. No, ma'am. No, sir. Not this year. We're not doing unpaid emotional labor in 2025. Because here's what's real. Many of us were raised to be emotionally available to everyone but ourselves. We were trained to read the room before we ever learned to read our own hearts. We were taught to anticipate others' needs before we could even name our own. By protecting your peace this holiday, protecting your peace this holiday season means you start making different choices. For you, it means you stop auditioning for approval. It means you stop pretending you're fine when you're really shutting down on the inside. It means you stop over-explaining your boundaries like they're PowerPoint. You don't need a permission slip to have standards. Because, Queen, when you practice presence before a trigger happens, you teach your nervous system, you teach your body a new baseline. And over time, your body stops expecting chaos and drama to show up and starts recognizing calm as home. You ever mentally rehearse a whole conversation with a family member for 3 days straight in your head, and they show up like, hey, how's it going? That's it? No argument this year? And you're standing like, I wrote a full courtroom script for this one, right? That's not your failure. That's your nervous system still bracing for a war that already ended. But here's the beauty. Here's the beauty in this. Every time you show up differently, every time you breathe instead of react, every time you breathe instead of bracing, you're rewriting that memory. You're healing. You're growing. You're outgrowing those practices, because real peace doesn't mean sitting in the corner humming affirmations while drama and chaos reigns around you. It means you quietly slide your purse off your shoulder and say, I love y'all, but I'm headed out. No drama, no announcement, just alignment. And Queen, that's what we're doing today. We're not escaping the holidays. We're not escaping family and friends. We're reclaiming them. We're reclaiming the holidays. One breath, one boundary, one brave decision at a time. All right? Stay with me here. Protecting your peace doesn't start in chaos. It starts in the quiet. It starts in those quiet moments when you decide who you're going to be before the test even comes. And Queen, those tests, they don't show up. They don't show up in a dramatic fashion all the time. They come dressed down, normal, everyday, regular. For example, your phone buzzes, you pause, you already know it's that person. And just like that, your body tightens, your mind starts spiraling, your nervous system prepares for war, and you haven't even read the message yet. You haven't even answered the phone. That's the moment. Not after, not later, right there. That's where presence gets to lead. You choose. Because peace isn't protected by luck, it's protected by intention. It's deciding how you want to show up before the moment tells you who to become. You don't have to be the bigger person by sacrificing yourself. You don't have to stay at the table just because someone set a plate for you. You don't have to smile through conversations that drain you and have those microaggressions dripped in. You're allowed to honor your peace, even when the vibe is off. Especially when the vibe is off. Sometimes someone hands you a slice of pie like they hope you choke on it. But you know what? That's not hospitality, that's hostility. And you can spot it a mile away. But your reaction is what matters. That's the shift. You don't need the room to be comfortable for you to feel calm. No one gets to control that but you. Because peace is not a group project. It's not based on other people behaving well. It's based on you deciding who you want to be, regardless of the room, regardless of the environment, regardless of the people. That's the skill we're building. That's presence. You're allowed to step away before the conversation turns bad. You're allowed to stay quiet when your boundary is being baited. You're allowed. You're allowed to change the subject. You're allowed to exit those group chats. You're allowed to leave early without guilt. You don't have to stay and wash the last dish. You can leave. Because when you lead from presence instead of performance, you stop running on fumes and fake smiles. You become rooted. You become emotionally honest, even if your mouth stays quiet. And babe, that's power. You ever notice how peace looks good on paper, but it gets real in practice? We say we want calm. We say we want presence. We say we want to protect our energy. But then someone texts you with that tone. Or brings up that subject. Yeah. Or makes that face. You know what that face looks like. And suddenly your inner peace is in a full-on sprint, hiding behind your ego while your mouth is halfway through a monologue. You swore you would never say it again. Right? So let's pause right here. This is a moment where presence gets to lead. It gets to be in charge. Not perfection, presence. Because if peace only works, if it only works when everyone's behaving, it's not peace. It's performance. And you're done performing. You're done. What we're learning here is emotional self-trust, emotional awareness. It's a moment where your nervous system says, we're not doing that old dance again. We choose differently now. And you know what's wild? What's really crazy? The moment you choose peace, you start to see all the places where chaos and drama used to be your compass, where it used to be your guiding light. You'll see it in the relationships where tension was the glue that kept it together. The conversations where confusion was normal. Imagine confusion being normal. The habits that felt familiar even when they weren't safe. And suddenly you're just not putting up with that anymore. You're protecting your peace now. I know sometimes it's hard and you grieve the version of who you didn't know you could be, but here you are. And it's okay, that grief is holy. Because peace doesn't always feel powerful at first. Sometimes it feels lonely. Sometimes it feels quiet. Other times unfamiliar. Especially if you grew up in rooms where the loudest person won, where the angriest person won, and silence was mistaken for weakness. But Queen, silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's restraint, it's sovereignty. It's knowing that your energy is sacred, and not every moment deserves your reaction. You ever walk away from a moment and realized you didn't explain yourself? You didn't over-apologize. You didn't spiral trying to manage how someone else felt, how they felt about your boundaries. You just breathed and you let it be. That's not cold. That's healed. That's growth. That's nervous system leadership. Because maturity isn't just about what you say. It's about what you no longer need to say. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to be held by yourself. And love, that part right there, that's the stretch. Because the little girl in you who was trained to overfunction, she was trained to over-explain herself, to shrink herself for the sake of peace, even when it costs her her own. But you're not her. You're not her anymore. You're not. You're the woman who pauses. You're the woman who breathes, who lets silence do some of the talking. You don't have to fill the gaps. You're the woman who doesn't chase understanding. She embodies it. And Queen, when you lead from that place, your peace walks into the room before you say a single word. That's the shift we're anchoring today. Not just emotional intelligence, but emotional embodiment. And that, my love, is where your leadership begins, right there. All right, let's keep going and bring this home, okay? Let's anchor this in real life, because peace isn't just a vibe. It's a decision that you make, and you make it constantly. And that decision gets tested in real time, over and over again. Not when the house is quiet, the lights are low, and the music's soft, and you have your glass of wine. But when someone tests your tone, when the group text gets shady, when your boundary gets ignored in plain sight, that's when it gets tested. That's when the real work begins. Peace isn't just about how you feel. It's about what you choose when your emotions are high. And love, let's be real. Sometimes your presence alone triggers people who are more comfortable with that version of you who never said no. But that's not your problem to fix. You're not here to be palatable, to bend. You're here to be present. And presence is what allows you to breathe when you want to react. It's what keeps your peace intact, even when the tension shows up dressed like tradition. Here's what that looks like in practice, okay? You feel the energy shift in the room. And instead of adjusting yourself, you pause and breathe. You get the passive aggressive comment, and instead of defending your entire life, you smile and say, "I'm good, thank you." You see the text come through, and instead of spiraling or decoding tone, you remind yourself, not every energy deserves my reply. No, I don't have to do this today. You ever get a one-word reply and spend the next hour wondering if you offended them, when really they just had low battery and 3 kids yelling in the back seat? For real. We're retiring the over-analysis this year. We are. We're getting rid of it. Let's stop creating stories from silence and return to what we actually know, the facts and what's true. Because peace is not a guessing game. And Queen, sometimes peace means exiting a room without making a speech. It means recognizing when the energy isn't for you and honoring your exit without guilt. You ever slide your shoes back on, grab your purse and say, "All right, y'all," with a smile so clean it leaves everybody confused, like, where is she going? Home. That's peace in heels. No drama, no lecture, just presence. Just presence. And babe, let's anchor this with a quiet truth right now that we all need to understand. When you stop trying to manage how everyone experiences you, you finally get to experience yourself. And that's the truth. That's the shift. You go from over-explaining your decisions to standing in them. You go from people-pleasing to soul-protecting. You go from emotional overfunctioning to nervous system leadership. You do. You ever walk away from a conversation and think, dang, I stayed calm. I didn't apologize. I didn't spiral. I didn't shrink. And you're just sitting in the car like, wait, is this what peace feels like? Did I just do that? Yes, that's exactly what it feels like. That's exactly what it feels like. And here's what we're saying. Here's what we're saying right now. Peace doesn't require perfection. It doesn't. It just requires presence. That's it. And the moment you choose it consistently is the moment your energy starts speaking louder than your explanations ever could. All right, let's keep going. I hope you're understanding and gaining knowledge and wisdom and all the understanding you can get right now, because the holiday season is hard. It really is. But you walk this far with me. Now let's bring this message home, right? Not just in your mind, but in your body as well. So, because peace isn't a vibe, it's a muscle. And you strengthen it every time you choose not to react and not to abandon yourself. You strengthen it when you speak gently to yourself in moments of tension. You strengthen it when you stay in your body instead of chasing an explanation. You strengthen it when you trust your tone, your time, and your no. Even if no one else gets it. That's peace in practice. That's peace in motion. And before we move into embodiment, let me say this. We don't breathe just to relax. We breathe to regulate. It's how we tell our nervous system, how we tell our body, you're safe now. And we don't affirm just to sound positive. We affirm to rewire what we believe. Your mind is a supercomputer. And if it's been running on the wrong programming, it needs recoding. So let's start there. Let's start with our body first. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, place your hand over your heart, because that's your center, right? That's the woman underneath, the proving, the performing, the peacekeeping, the pretending. That's the you who isn't performing. She's just present. Now breathe with me. In through the nose. Hold it. Out through the mouth. Let it go. Again, inhale through the nose. Hold it. And exhale. Let your energy land. That shift you feel right now, that's not just calm. That's access. You're accessing a version of you that's always been there. She just got buried under obligation. Okay? Under pressure. Under the holiday noise. Here's a small move that you can use this week to just rewire your mental a little bit. When something tugs at your peace, this week, pause for 5 seconds before you respond. Just 5. That's it. 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 seconds between the tone and the shift, between the text message that you want to send, but you know that will cause problems. 5 seconds between the comment and the reaction. 5 seconds between your urge to people please and your choice to come home to yourself. And if you need to count it out loud, 1, 2, don't do it. 3, breathe. 4, babe. 5, we're good. We're good. That's the reset your body's been asking for. Now here's your big move, the one that reshapes your emotional blueprint. Write a page titled in your journal, your notepad, "My peace protects me when," and finish that sentence as many times as you can or as you need to. My peace protects me when I feel pressure to explain, when I'm tempted to make everyone else comfortable, when I start minimizing what I need, when I get pulled back into an old role that doesn't fit me anymore. This isn't homework. It's homecoming, coming back to yourself. You're not fixing yourself. You're finally listening to her. You're listening to yourself now. You ever finish writing something emotional, then sit there like, whew, I didn't know all of this was in me? Yeah, that's not drama, that's release. And sometimes we need a release. And this part is important. Peace doesn't always feel powerful at first. Sometimes it feels awkward, quiet, and unfamiliar because you're not used to stillness that doesn't come with drama or guilt. But give it a minute. Give it a chance to settle in. Because that stillness, that's what you've been searching for in everyone else. And you finally found it in yourself. Okay? Now I want you to repeat after me. Say this with me. I don't prove to be worthy. I don't perform to be picked. I don't push through pain to be polite. I lead from peace. Now I trust it to hold me. That's your truth now. And love, you're not becoming her. You're returning to her. You're returning to yourself. Before you go, and thank you for being here with me, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead. Now's your chance. Now's your moment. We're building a space where women lead from strategy, softness, and self-trust. Not noise, not panic, not performance. Drop a comment and let me know where peace is calling you to show up differently this season. Your words might be the oxygen another woman needs to hear right now. Yeah? Now, Queen, you showed up. You chose calm. You practiced presence. Your exclusive Queen's Closing gift is waiting next, and it's going to meet you right where you are. Okay? Take it in. Let it root. Let it remind you of the woman you've always been. She's not waiting to be chosen. No, she already is. All right? She's peace, and she leads now. Always have a great day. Stay blessed. Talk soon.